Hey there, I'm a DIY track guy. This is my humble garage, and today we add more stiffness. Before we get started, I wanted to thank you subscribers for your support and encouragement. The internet can be a scary place, so thank you for being awesome. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Hit the like, drop a comment, I'd love to hear from you. This is what Flying Miata calls a cannon brace, and its job is to add stiffness and structural rigidity to your rear subframe between the lower control arms. The early Miatas, like my 1.6, didn't come with any rear subframe bracing, so this is meant to address that. Flying Miata has a really good video where they talk about this thing in depth. I'm not sponsored by them, and I bought this with my own money. All right, enough chit chat, let's get this thing installed. So this is the area we're gonna be working on. This is the rear subframe, and these are the lower control arms. The cannon brace will attach at 4 points: the lower sway bar bolts and the lower control arm bolt. Notice how this inner attachment point has no bracing around it. The cannon brace is meant to triangulate and strengthen this area. So since we're gonna remove this bolt, I wanna make sure I don't ruin the alignment. I'm gonna use a paint pen to make a match mark on the eccentric ring and the subframe. Also worth noting that once we install the cannon brace, we won't be able to see this eccentric ring and may need to remove it for alignments. We pass the cannon brace through the exhaust with these machine sides facing back. All right, we got a little problem here. This flange on the rear subframe is bent up and is interfering with the brace. There we go. Clears. Now that we have the brace around the exhaust, we need to put this bar across the top of the brace here and bolt it together. And for these 17 mil camber bolts, they say to torque these to 30 first, and then once it's aligned and everything's good, torque it up to 75 plus foot-pounds. The torque spec for these camber bolts are 75 foot-pounds, but in track applications, they're known to slip. So I'm gonna try to torque these up to 90 foot-pounds. That's 90. I don't know how I could have screwed this up. It was 4 bolts. The instructions actually say, put the rear of the Miata up on ramps or on a lift that keeps the rear suspension loaded. Jacks will allow the rear wheels to hang there and will preload the brace when your car is back on the ground, changing the alignment, so don't use them. There's a reason we call this mostly useless. Out for another test drive. Let's see if this cannon brace makes any noticeable difference. I have my doubts that we'll be able to notice anything on the street. We may need to take it to the track to put it through its paces. As expected, I can't feel anything on residential roads at reasonable speeds, trying not to hit squirrels. I detected maybe a hint of more grip at the rear, but it could have just been placebo. So this is a very simple and uncomplicated mod, and I am optimistic that it is doing something. So that's all for the Mostly Useless Garage. You're awesome, I'm useless. Thanks for watching. Although Ferrari's 2022 season seems to be over, I really hope the guys can turn it around in 2023. Let's go.